Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, second-round pick linebacker for the Browns, has been outstanding. Let's take a look at this tweet. This is in coverage, and this is where he ranks for linebackers, for all linebackers, not just rookies, but for all linebackers. So yards per reception first, forced incompletion second, positive play percentage fourth, coverage snaps per reception, EPA per target 11th. That's pretty good for a second-round pick. And, Scott, the best thing I can say about him, as well as Greg Newsome, the more I saw them on the field, the more I wanted to see them on the field.
Yeah, I agree with that. He's got a great skill set, JOK does. I think those coverage numbers are a little deceptive because he's not in man-to-man coverage very often. I think those are a lot of zone. I asked him at one point later in the year how often he had been asked to cover a tight end like man-to-man, and it was like a handful of snaps. So I think that's an area he can grow in because they believe his skill set makes him able to do that. But it speaks to the ability to go sideline to sideline and to close the gap and to get from your spot in the zone to the flat and make a tackle, which we saw him do time and time again. And we've seen him as a blitzer. I think there's room to grow there. So, yeah, he's a guy that should only get better. And you talk about building blocks on defense, Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward and Greg Newsome and JOK, and all of a sudden you're starting to kind of stack a lot of pieces.
Yeah, and you're putting together the core of what could be a very dominant defense. Well, Joe Woods, Browns defensive coordinator, he sold on his rookie linebacker, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. Here's Woods on him earlier today.
The sky's the limit for JOK. He's so dynamic in so many different areas. His ability to blitz, his ability to match up in coverage, make plays in space. I think throughout the season, as he got more comfortable, you really saw his ability, to show up in different areas at times. In college, he played really, he was really out playing over the slot, or he was blitzing off the edge in college. So the things we were asking him to do, it took him a little time to get it. I think he really feels comfortable. You can see him, in practice being more confident. And I really believe the sky's the limit. I think he can be a dynamic player for a long time for us.
And, Scott, I speak defensive coordinator. That means guys like that make me a really good-looking defensive coordinator.
Yeah, there's no doubt. You can use them in a bunch of different ways. And I also think JOK is a smart guy. He takes really meticulous notes. He studies the game. And I think he'll only get better the more experience he has in this league. And, you talk about, hey, would the team move up for a linebacker? And it did. It traded up for a linebacker, which kind of went against what we expected them to do. But there's a reason. They thought this kid was special.
And you know what? It kind of goes back to the faith that I have in Andrew Berry. I know it's only been 2 years, but there hasn't been much that he's done where I've scratched my head and say, boy, what was Andrew Berry thinking? So give him some time and let him go to work on what needs to be done here.